Kia ora homa. Hope you're having a happy holiday. If you're in New Zealand and on school holidays at the moment, what we're going to be doing in today's video is we're going to be turning this into this. Basically our experiment today is what happens when you light ping pong balls on fire and why they are so flammable. This is an experiment that is relatively dangerous, and it is, I strongly recommend, okay, I am telling you that if you're going to do this experiment, you need to do it with adult supervision, because it is dangerous, because you're working with flammable objects and also melted plastic, which can really give you a bad burn if you're a bit of a silly person. But yeah, stick around and we'll go into the science of why ping pong balls are so So we went to my local dollar store and we got a packet of cheap and nasty table tennis balls, ping pong balls, and only for $2 for 6 of them. Now we're going to be doing this experiment a couple of times. I'm going to do it once in real time, and I'm going to do it right this very second, and then the next one we're going to do in slow motion, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about why we're seeing the things that we're seeing. Okay, so stand by. I'm just going to say. Now you can't quite see it at the moment, but there is a flame. If I put my hand here. Now depending on what the manufacturer is of a ping pong ball and the properties in which they make it, and what I mean by that is the materials that they make it from, depends on how fast the ping pong ball will burn. So you can see here it is quite flammable. It's not very good light in here at the moment, but basically you're seeing it burn down until there is nothing. Now hopefully you did hear that little bit of a pop at the beginning. That's the air obviously inside the ping pong ball. That's reduced into a puddle. So generally the misconception about ping pong balls and their flammability, and I'll just try and pick up this. So there's the remnants of my ping pong ball, a little plastic puddle. Generally the misconception is that the reason they're so flammable is because of this mythical gas that's put inside them that makes them into what's essentially a plastic bubble. Now that's actually incorrect. The flammable portion of it is actually the plastic that's used. Inside the ping pong ball is nothing but just normal air. Ping pong balls aren't made using any kind of pressurized gas. Basically what happens, if you imagine this being a perfectly little round disc, 2 discs are put into a mold and they're molded in 2 different halves, and if I hold this up in the light you can see that it's separated into 2 hemispheres, and you've got this equator running around the middle, and basically what that is that the 2 sides are joined and fused together, and it just traps a pocket of air in between. So like I said, it's the ping pong ball itself, the plastic part itself, that is the flammable part of the ping pong ball, not any kind of gas on the inside. Now these are really, really cheap ones, and so this experiment here has shown me that these aren't as flammable as other ones that I've seen before. Now if you get the proper really, really good ones, the professional legit ones, and they'll normally have some kind of marking or branding on them, they are extremely flammable. And I don't know if it's something to do with the process in which they make them that makes them such high quality ping pong balls. Because I know that in order for them to be able to mold the ping pong ball, because no heat is involved, because if you heat them the plastic will shrink, so they expose them to things like chemical washes and things like that help the plastic soften so that they can mold them into the correct shape. And so that has a lot to play in the flammability of a ping pong ball. But I've seen the really, really good ones basically disappear and only leave like a pile of ash, whereas with our one here it's left a little plastic disc. It's basically just melted. Now if we imagine for a second the fire triangle, okay, the fire triangle, if you take one part of the fire triangle away, you don't get any fire. So if you don't know what the fire triangle is, you've got fuel, your ignition source is my thumbs, and then oxygen. So if there's no fuel and there's no ignition source, or there's no oxygen, then the fire won't take place. So in terms of this, our fire triangle is the fuel is the plastic, the ignition source is the blowtorch, and the oxygen is everything, the air around us at the moment, but also the air trapped inside. And the air trapped inside is just a little bit of an added bonus for the ping pong ball. Now, another thing that I'm going to mention too is if you get really, really good ping pong balls, you'll get like a jet flame going, and that's because there's like this vacuum of air sucking in through the ball, and all kinds of stuff's going on. But yeah, that works really well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to light another one on fire, and then I'll slow that down for you. But if you like this video, I recommend having a look around on YouTube. There's some really interesting videos. Some of them are in Chinese, Mandarin, and things like that, of showing the actual process of making ping pong balls, and that'll give you a better idea of what I mean. I'll try and put some links in the description below. But for now, ka kite. I'll see you next time on Mr. Ashley's Place. Like I said, if you like this video, hit like. If you want to subscribe to the channel, and thanks to all those people that already have, hit subscribe. I'm in school holidays at the moment, so I'm planning on doing a few more videos over the next few days. So stick around, keep in touch, and I'll see you later. Enjoy the rest of school holidays too.